So I'm a Sparky by trade. Ash is a teacher. We've been on the road for 16 months. We started off from the mid-north coast of New South Wales. And we don't really have an end date to our travels at this stage. No. We're just going to keep going until the funds run out. Alright, so question number 1. Why did you decide to do a big lap?
Do you want me to go?
Go for it.
Well, we had just had like a huge contract, I guess, that we have just finished. So you were working away for like a year and a half to 2 years. And we'd just had enough of work, to be honest.
We'd always wanted to do a lap, but yeah, work sort of pushed us over the edge a bit, and we had to go and have a sabbatical really and have a break, and turns out we bloody loved it. So.
But it also, that time away did put us in the position to be able to save enough money to do the lap, so it kind of all worked out mutually beneficial. But yeah, we've always wanted to do one. We just never thought we were going to ever have the opportunity to do it. So yeah, that was pretty much it. We just took off. Alright, what was your life like before the big lap? Busy.
A lot of work, 3 kids, 10-acre property, a lot of maintenance. We were very busy. Like, we were working 60 hours a week, both of us.
Yeah.
It was a lot. It was great, but you know, it does wear you down.
It was very, very busy. Chaos, I would say.
Okay, number 3. How did you prepare for your big lap? What things do you need to do before you left?
Before you left? Or what did you need to do before you left?
So obviously we had to get the house in order. It was probably a big one, just getting all our stuff here sorted. We finished up the business, which was a lot of work actually. We sold a lot of assets, we got rid of a lot of employees and that sort of thing.
But also we weren't too sure, when we first took off in June last year, we weren't too sure if we were going to love it or hate it. Like, we had done a lot of long trips before. We'd done 2 like 4-month trips prior, and absolutely loved it, but we just weren't sure what it was going to look like when you're actually, you know, fully invested and you don't have an end in sight, and being away from family and all that stuff. So we didn't put anyone in our house. We just left it empty to start. In hindsight, we probably should have put a rental in there.
If I was going to do it again, I would have put someone in there. Got a bit of income from the property while we weren't there. Also, they look after it. Like, when you leave a house for 6 months and the lawn isn't mown, it's shocking. Yeah,
it's a lot more to get it back to where it was before you left than to just have people in maintaining it.
Yep.
So that's something, that you definitely need to do, is just get everything in order. What else?
That's pretty much it. Yeah.
Pretty much just got the house and just, we sold things that we knew we didn't need and stuff like that.
Yep. Yeah, sold a lot of stuff. A lot of things that we just weren't going to use or didn't think we hadn't used for a long time.
So tell us about our setup. So when we left, we had a Kokoda 21 foot. Yep. And when we bought that van originally, we weren't ever expecting to live in it full time. We thought, we might do a big trip here and there, but we never thought we would do 12 months or more or live in it indefinitely. So when we were about 3 months in, so we got to about September last year, and then we decided that 12 months wasn't going to be enough, and that we actually wanted to sell the house and upgrade the van into our dream caravan so that we could actually live in it forever, essentially, more comfortably.
You might not think so, but the difference between like a weekend caravan and a full-time caravan is actually a huge difference.
It really is.
One's really hard to live out of, and one is just, walk in and it's like a home.
Yeah, so we ended up upgrading halfway through our trip. So we've had this little bit more than halfway, I guess, because we ordered it 3 months in, and then now we're in a titanium 23-foot hardcore ATX, and game changer.
Bloody beautiful.
We absolutely love it. Like, we loved our Kokoda as well, but this one, we designed it specifically with the thought that we were going to live in it. So yeah, we just made some tweaks and changes to make it a lot more comfortable to live out of and homeschool and all of that. So yeah.
And as for the tow vehicle, we've got a Ram 2500 Longhorn. It's a great car, especially when you're towing this much weight. There's not many options you can get, and I've been a Toyota man all my life, and I'm converted. I love the bloody thing. So we've got a MITS alloy canopy on the back, and we've got Almac boat loader on the roof.
Yeah.
And nice tinny on top. So
yeah. Hopefully that's the end of our setup, darling. We shall see. All right.
How did you choose the right setup for you? So we have been travelling, caravanning, camping for our whole life. So this last design was just sort of a tweak on everything we've already learned. About doing it, and long-term travel as well. Put a bit of a change on things as well. Being able to lock everything up in the car. I've always had trays on my utes, but we've got a full canopy now, so we can throw everything in, lock it up, don't have to worry about things getting stolen.
And also, I think we love the like combination of, so like you get like a hybrid or like a camper trailer and you have all the outdoor kitchen. We love cooking and all of that outside, and we also love the convenience of having that option inside if you want to cook as well. So we wanted something where we could do both, and depending on where you're staying and what weather you're in and all of that, we wanted the best of both worlds. So we now have a setup that we can cook inside, and we also have the full outdoor kitchen outside and the Weber. And I think that was something that we needed to combine all of the previous setups to really get what we wanted.
And so we've gone a little bit longer setup this time too, just to give us a bit more room inside. Like when we get some wet weather, because we are living in it full time, it does happen. Yeah. And having 3 crazy kids inside a little tiny tin can is not super enjoyable.
It can be a little bit crazy.
All right. Is there anything you would change about your setup if you were starting again?
So only tiny little tweaks. So I would put a solid door in between the kids and us. We've got like a little
concertia door.
Yeah.
That comes off the hinges quite a bit.
Well, yeah. Like the older 2 are fine with it, but Andy, she's only 3 and she's not tall enough to actually push from the centre where you need to, so she derails it all the time.
I'd go a window on the front.
Oh,
just for a bit more airflow. That is one little regret I have, and I'll be putting that on the next van for sure.
Other than that,
in terms of the car, we've gone 2500.
Oh yeah.
But we weren't planning on doing what we were doing when we bought that, so I would probably just go the bigger platform, 3500, 4500, and maybe look at a lighter
45.
canopy.
Do they come in 45s?
And 55s. But
what?
They're starting to import them.
Wow.
Yeah, just little things like that. Just now, once we've built it all up, we're just finding some things are a bit heavier. You're not getting enough airflow here, or not as much light, and we, deleted a couple of roof hatches off the ceiling, so we don't get as much light in here either.
But that was because we needed to get extra solar, so that's something we don't regret. But
not at all. I'd delete all the roof hatches just to go more solar.
Yeah. All right. What kind of camps do you stay in, and why? So we love free camping. That is our favourite style, because we designed the van as well so that we haven't lost anything when we are free camping. Like, we can still use everything in our van. We can still have Starlink, coffee machine, invert, like all the induction cooking,
Thermomix,
all that stuff. So yeah, free camping for us is the best. We love it. But in saying that, the kids love the van parks, like the real big ones, like the big 4s and stuff like that, like the big Ingenia ones. They do love them. So we predominantly free camp and like hip camp and stuff like that. But we do sometimes go into the van parks, but it's mostly just for the kids, or if we want to feel like we want to hang out at a swim up bar or something like that. And we want to spoil.
Even when we're in the van parks, it's pretty much all off grid, like unpowered sites, sorry, is what I'm trying to say, because we just don't need it. We don't need the power. So we go in.
And you usually get a bit bigger site in the unpowered section. It's not as squeezy.
It's crowded. All right, how do you find the best camps? So it is just a lot of digging,
research,
reading reviews, going through, looking at photos, just finding out as much info as you can before we go there. But sometimes even that doesn't work. Sometimes you have to just rock up, have a look, and go yes or no. Like, is this a good one, or are we just going to stay here for the night and then try to find something better? Yeah.
Well, we a combination of things. So we do talk to a lot of people when we're going through. Like, every time we stop somewhere, we'll always talk to somebody, and depending on which way they've gone, we'll ask where they've stayed and any great spots, and I write them all down. And then when we get close to that kind of area, I have a huge big list. I also save a lot of things on like Instagram. So if I ever see a site that I want to go to, I'll just save that, have a little special folder on Instagram. But then in terms of the apps and stuff we use all of them. So we use Campedia, HipCamp, Wiki, all of them, because every single one has different things on it. So
you've got something else to offer.
Yeah, so we like using all of them, and then we just keep our own log, really.
Yep, and most of our decisions are made the day before.
Yeah, we don't plan very far in it. No. Well, we don't at all. Usually we would wake up and we will just pack up and just start driving, and then we'll have an idea of which direction we're going, like north, south, west, or whatever. But we never really pick a camp more than the day of.
Pretty much.
It's usually something we're driving and I'll be like, oh, this looks cool, let's stop here.
Yeah, and if we can't find something, we just keep going, and then we pull up on the side of the road and then find something the next day. Like, we're not too worried.
It's fun because sometimes like you'll just drive over a bridge and there'll be like a camp there, and it's not on any of the apps. So you know.
Yeah, we found some quite good ones that way.
You just stay there and you're like, this is a sick spot.
Ooh, what is the best camping spot you've stayed at? So ours will probably differ.
Okay, what have you got?
Gregory in North Queensland, northwestern Queensland.
The Gregory River.
Yeah, is one of my favourites. You can camp, you can back your caravan over the water. It's a free camp, and you can walk to the pub. It's about 100 metres away. It is just a cracking spot. The kids loved it. They got ropes across the water, like swings. You can hop in on a tube and float down. Like, I loved that spot.
That was good. Mine would have to be either Camilla Beach, also in Queensland. It's $14 or something a night, but it's pretty much a free camp.
Yeah.
And it's literally right on the beach. That's one of my faves. And my other one would have to be, it's also a beach camp, Dundee Beach. I've never been able to move past that. You can't swim there.
And the, I don't know if
I don't think you're allowed to free camp there anymore.
We were in the free camp.
But it's also got an awesome pub that has now been renovated. So we have to go back there just to go to the pub pretty much because it looks chic.
Yes, we do.
Is there a piece of advice you can give to future lappers about camps or caravan parks? Oh, I've got one. Don't trust other people's opinions.
Absolutely. Take it with a grain of salt, because something they might hate, you might absolutely love. Yeah. We've found that so much.
Oh my God, it's happened so many times where we would be like, oh, we're about to head to this camp, and then someone will say, no, that's the worst. Like, don't even bother going in there. We've even had it, we've passed a group. Remember that one on the river? And there was someone else there wasn't a very big camp, and it was a free camp on the river, and they were driving out and they're going, oh, no, like, we've just driven in, it's horrid, you won't, no, just turn around and go back. And we're like, oh, well, we may as well just go have a look for ourselves. It was sick. It was one of the best spots.
It was amazing. Yeah, free camp on the river. Yeah. Track in was not hard. I don't know what they looked at, but...
No, but it just depends. Everyone's different. So what someone might think is a really corrugated road, you might think it's nothing. So it just depends. You really just have to... You can listen to everyone's opinions, but you really just have to go and try it for yourself just to find out.
Even if you just go walk the track and have a quick look.
Yeah.
It is worth the time.
Totally.
So, if you can, before you go, try and get yourself a really good battery system and as much solar as you can fit. So, like, some of our best camps are off-grid camps, so you have to take in your own water, you have to have your own power, and they're just unreal. They put the caravan parks to shame, in my opinion. So what's something you know now but you didn't before you left? I got a quick little one for the people with big setups where you've got to have your car down as a truck license. In New South Wales, where I done my test, it's 0.05, so you can have a drink down at the pub. I love going to pubs. So you can have a drink there and you can still be fine, but as soon as you go to Queensland, it is zero. You cannot have any drinks, so just be careful.
Each state is different, so make sure you know what the rules are.
That's a quick way to lose your licence. I didn't, but just be careful. What is your favourite thing about travelling?
I think seeing a new thing every day.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's not having to worry about weather really, because you just move on.
Yeah, if it's raining, you just hop in the car and find somewhere where it's not raining. You know, I've got nomadic blood in me, I swear. Like, if we sit somewhere for too long, a couple of days too long, I get antsy. I want to pack up. I want to go. I want to find something new, something more exciting. And also, we get to spend the whole time with the kids.
Yeah.
There's no going to work. Well, there is, but it's just in different ways. The kids are always there with us. We're teaching them our values, you know, what we like, what we want to do. I like that part.
Yeah, me too. All right, is van life everything you thought it would be?
No. It's definitely better. It's way better.
It's true. Like, I did think that we were going to, like, get a little claustrophobic and, you know, just being in everyone's space so often. But it's kind of just taught us to, I don't know, just, like, appreciate each other's space even more, though. because then, you know, the kids kind of get their own time. Like, if they want to chill out in their bunks by themselves, like, we're very respectful of making sure that, you know, no one's allowed to go near them while they're in there and they're just having their own time. So yeah, I find, I don't know, it works a lot better than I thought it would.
Yeah. And, you know, after going from the amount of work we were doing before, I have no stress anymore. Like, I was not in a good road, I was not in a good place with what we were with work, but now I'm cool, calm, relaxed. I absolutely love it.
All right.
What is a van life myth?
Oh.
We know this one. We both know exactly what it is.
Oh my God.
And it is that you're going to hop in the van and you're going to think you have all the time in the world, you're going to read books, you're just going to sit and relax. No. You're just as busy as you were at home.
You are. Like, yeah, I think I've got 6 books next to my bed. I have not opened one of them. Yeah,
I took 3 books, like, for about 10,000 kilometres on a trip around Australia. I didn't open them once.
But that's just, I don't know, maybe we're not doing it right.
No, we're proactive. We like to go out on walks. Like, we've got the kids with us full time. There's no dropping off to daycare.
School.
You're there. Like, you feed them, you do everything with them, you school them, you know, you make their breakfast in the morning, you make their lunch, you make your dinner. Like, it's everything.
Yeah, and I think when you are travelling with small kids, like, you just want to go out and explore things, like you said, and, you know, they want to play and they want to interact, and it's like, how do you say no? How do you say no to that?
Well, we don't want to.
But also, like, you know, we're then having time to cook and, you know, do all that kind of thing, and we use that as our time, and you just don't have as much downtime as you think you're gonna have. That's what it is.
Yeah. And if you're like, you can stop for a day and just have a complete lazy day, which we start doing that now, just to give us some time to recharge the batteries.
Yeah.
Because if you're moving every day, packing up, setting up, everything, it all adds up.
It is a lot.
You can get burnt out pretty quick.
Well, you just kind of feel like it's all you're doing. You know, or you just feel like you're constantly setting up and packing up, and you kind of miss out on seeing some things. So we now take it really slow. That's why we don't plan anything in advance, because we don't want to feel like we're forced to get to somewhere.
Yeah.
And have to miss out on things in between. So
because if you book yourself into a van park, then there's a deadline. You can't just take another day in between. You've got to get there because you paid for it. So it's a good one to remember.
Right, tell us about a scary or funny time you remember being on the road.
I can think of a couple. Yeah, so back when we had our little hybrid van, it was a single axle. It was about 1:30 in the morning. We just decided to drive through the night. The kids were asleep. And then all of a sudden there's this massive scraping noise. One of the wheels had fallen off the van. I wasn't even driving. I was asleep.
No, I was driving, and it just all of a sudden, it was like a bang. And then I could just feel that it, like, the van was just pulling, and we were going like 110
k's on the motorway up near Townsville.
Freeway, and then so I just thankfully was able to pull off slowly, and then got out of the car, and the whole bloody wheel was gone.
Yeah.
Did we find it?
We did. The tow truck driver found it a few hundred metres away.
Yeah. Yeah, that was pretty scary.
Yeah, and then another one was we were going down a really tight track from a lighthouse, and I went too close to the edge. And I hooked the van up over this rock and popped a tyre, took out the side of the tyre. And then also the whole caravan got jammed on this rock. We had to lift the caravan up and then roll it over the rock so I didn't bend the chassis. So that was fun. It was a one-way track, blocked heaps of people.
That was at the beginning of our trip.
I wasn't used to a big
2 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty epic.
But, you're driving around, you've got the whole house with you. Things are going to happen. You've got to expect it. Just be ready to deal with it.
Yeah, it's just like something happening on your house at home. Like, it is what it is.
Okay, what's an item you couldn't live without?
Starlink, for sure.
Yeah, Starlink, 100%.
For us, like, we do a lot of content creation, and, we make YouTube videos and all of that. So if we didn't have a Starlink, that just would make it really, really hard because of the type of camping that we like to do.
And also,
we always like to be off-grid.
We did run our business from afar when we first started. So if you're trying to run a business, if you're just doing emails, anything like that, you will not get internet hardly anywhere. That's something you need to know, because...
Well, and the phone reception is really bad as well.
Yes.
Like, as soon as you go away from the coast.
So you can make calls through Starlink and everything. So if you need connectivity in your trip, you need to get that. And that's pretty much the best option as far as we can tell.
Yeah.
100%.
What is the downside of doing a big lap? You don't want to stop.
No, you don't want to stop. And if you had to come back to work after a year away doing a lap, that is really hard to get back into gear, for
Yep.
sure.
Yeah, well, even the smaller trips that we've done like a couple of quarter and half laps before we committed to the big one.
Yeah.
And yeah, it definitely takes a while to get back into the groove. Like
Absolutely.
if you're out of it for 3 or 4 months.
You feel like you've never done your job before and just walk back in. It is funny.
Yeah. But yeah, I think the hardest thing or the downside of trying to get back into normal life. But you could just do what we did and
just not go back.
Not go back. What was your financial plan for the big lap? Well, we just saved as much as we could before we left.
Yeah.
And that was about it.
We didn't have much of a budget for the start, essentially.
We were lucky enough to know that we had enough savings to last us at least a year.
Yeah.
And then, but we also didn't want to, miss out on those big things. So we just made sure that we had enough savings to cover us. We used the budget of like before we left for the savings, we wanted, it was like $1,000 a week. Is that what we wanted?
Something like that.
Yeah. But then we had extra for like if we wanted to go and do some snorkeling or something like that when you're in those big towns, or go and do something fun in the cities or the theme parks or whatever like that. So those things are really expensive.
Yeah, that adds up so quick.
Yeah, but we free camp a lot. So if we are wanting to stay in a big caravan park that might cost us like $100 a night or $120, some of them now, we'll free camp like the week before or something like that. And then, so essentially if we budget for like $50 a night, that's what I try and keep it around. And so if we want to spend $100 a night, we just free camp a bit, so then that money just moves over to,
yeah, technically saving it here to spend it there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It seems to work.
Yeah.
Yeah, in terms of food and things, it costs us probably about same as at home, really, like $400-ish a week for food. And then we will usually have like a pub feed or something a week.
We do love a good pub feed. Alright, so how do you afford to travel? Is it work or is it savings? Or both?
Well, started off as savings for us.
Yeah.
And then once we kind of decided to make it a, forever thing, and close the business down for good, we managed to actually get a bit of work, like travel work, while we were doing that.
A bit of work through Queensland. So.
But that's all finished. So yeah, for us now, it's pretty much savings, and then we just have a set amount that once we kind of get to that point, we will stop and work. So yeah, now that we've sold the house, for us, we have set aside a certain amount of money so that we can buy back into the market if we ever want to. And then we have our budget of pretty much like our savings budget to travel. And then once that gets to a certain point, that's when we'll start working and replenish it and dwindle it down, replenish. And that's kind of how we will be doing it anyway.
Yeah. See how it goes. Like I said, we don't make plans too much. So if you work on the road, what do you do? I'm Sparky, so it was pretty much just the bit of Sparky work.
Yeah.
She's a teacher.
I'm a teacher, so if we decide to stop up somewhere, I can just get some casual work at the school, or we can get some electrical work.
Yeah. I'll do anything though as well. I'm not limited to being Sparky. I'll drive trucks or do anything like that.
And that's the other thing. There is so much, like especially at the station stays and the rural caravan parks. They're always looking for help, or even like the farm stays. A lot of the hip camp places, they're really looking for help. And you can just stay there for free for a week or two. And like we were only at a farm stay not long ago, and they were a lovely couple and they needed some help on the farm. So Tom went out and did some fencing with them. And then they just let us stay there for free for a few days while Tom helped. And if we had more time, we would have stayed for longer. But just stuff like that. Like you can save money. If you're not having to spend money on accommodation, you're essentially making money is how I kind of look at it, because you're not using any of your savings. So if you can exchange some night stay to help out around the property, go for it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Bloody hell.
How much do you spend per week? Okay, so we would probably spend around $400 a week on groceries.
Probably the same on fuel. $300-400 on fuel a week.
We try and keep our accommodation costs to around $50 a night average.
Yeah.
And so like we said before, we'll counteract those with free camps. So we can, you know, sometimes you might be in an area where it's a bit more expensive to stay there. So we will try and do some free camps throughout that month as well. And then it just kind of makes it all around that $50 a night kind of range.
Well, it depends on the area too, where you are. Some places don't have anywhere cheap. Like if you're on the Gold Coast, here is absolutely nothing unless you head west. So
what else? Grog.
Pretty expensive. We drink a lot.
That would probably spend what? I don't know.
Couple
hundred a week.
Yeah.
Case of beer and a couple of things of spirits.
Yep.
Yeah, in terms of like anything, we don't have a mortgage anymore. So, and we own all this, so we don't have anything else except, those ongoing expenses, which you have full control over.
Yep.
So that's one of our favourite things about travelling is you spend as much as you want, because if you want to, cheap out on your groceries and whatever, you can.
What do you do to save money while travelling? Well, like we said, we try and spend a heap of time off-grid in free camps.
Yep.
To then, save a bit of money that we would have paid somewhere else and use it somewhere nice.
Yeah.
That's probably the biggest one at the moment. If a bit of work comes up, we'll do some work, depending on what it is, and just.
We also, although we do maybe one pub feed a week or something like that, we do cook almost all of our food.
Yeah.
So, we save that way, and we also use the thermo and stuff like that so that we can make our own breads and things like that. So we do try and save those bits.
Yep.
What has been your biggest splurge, and was it worth it?
Probably me boat and motor.
Yeah. We bought that up in Darwin last year.
Yeah.
Well, the boatload we've only just bought, but yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty expensive by the time when you buy all three, pretty much.
Mm.
But it's something we'll use a lot. We've used it quite a bit when we had it before. It's just we haven't had it recently, so we couldn't. So it'll be exciting to get it back on the roof.
Yeah, but that's definitely, yes, it was worth it, because the amount of times that we would go to a camp before and, just had the best waterway or something like that, and we weren't able to really get on there unless you fork out the money to hire something. So, definitely. That was definitely worth it.
Okay, is there anything you bought but don't use as much, or you thought and it wasn't worth the money? You probably overpack your clothes.
Oh, okay. Well, brought with us, yeah. Okay, so if we're talking about bringing with us, then definitely clothes. I took way too many.
Oh yes, it was debilitating.
But I thought I needed a lot of options. But now, although when we left, we didn't have a washing machine, so I would pack enough for a week for everybody of hot and cold kind of clothes. Now that we have a washing machine, I have been able to halve those clothes easily, and really only need 2 or 3 days worth of each thing, and then I just do a load every day.
Yeah.
So we can also run that off grid, so it doesn't matter where we are, as long as we've got water. We can keep the clothes clean.
Yeah. And also we've been carrying for 16 months and longer before that periodically, so we sort of knew what we wanted and what we use.
Yeah, we've done a lot of shakedown trips, I guess, over the years to know what to take and what not to take. So we pretty much have minimal of everything now. And then if we find that we need something, we'll just get it along the way, really.
Yeah, so if you're going to start your trip, try and start it somewhere where a lot of shops are around. Where you can just go down the road and get it if you need it. So I think we've done that both times with the new caravans. We've gone to Gold Coast or something like that, where you've got everything right at your doorstep. So if you go, you're looking at it, you can just go, okay, I'm just going to go get it. That was actually really handy. Yeah.
I know something else that a lot of people do is they'll get those little stickers when they're first taking off, and they'll if they're doing a shakedown trip or whatever, and they'll put a little sticker on everything, whether it be your appliances and your pots and pans, and not clothes and things like that, but the things that are kind of tucked away in the cupboard that you're not sure if you're going to use, or board games or books or whatever it is. They put a little sticker on it, and every time if you get it out, you take the sticker off, and then when you get back, if you've got anything left in your cupboards, if you've been gone for 6 months and you've still got things in your cupboard with a sticker on, get rid of it, because you haven't used it for 6 months, so you're not going to use it. Yeah.
Or you'll make do without it.
Yeah.
Alright, advice for lappers. What's the biggest advice you can give to future lappers?
I think if you're only going for 12 months and you have kids that are in school, I would highly recommend enrolling in distance education as opposed to homeschooling. So there's a couple of reasons for that. In New South Wales anyway, when you enroll in distance ed, you are essentially like you are kind of like at school of the air, essentially. Like you get a teacher, the kids get a teacher that touches base with them once or twice a week. They provide all the materials, so they'll send out usually half a term's worth of materials to you wherever you are. And that comes with readers and all of their texts, like any books that they need, and it also is the program of how you have to teach it. So you have so much support. If you're only going 12 months, so you can only do that for 12 months. You can only enrol, that's just how it works in New South Wales anyway. As a travelling family, they'll let you enrol for 12 months. And even if you're planning on going longer than that, I would still suggest doing that first, because it gives you time to set up your homeschooling stuff. Because when you enroll in homeschooling, you have to do it all yourself. You don't get given any materials. They just tell you, here's the link for the curriculum, and you have to show us how you can meet that. So if you are not a teacher or you've never had access to, any of that, like if you had to do that on your own, I don't know that you would have gone. I feel like you would have thought it was too hard. And I think that's probably the biggest thing that scares a lot of families off, is thinking, how the hell are we going to school our kids?
Yeah.
I recommend distance ed first. At least then you see what is involved in a school day, or like a school week, and then you can actually use those programs to help you later.
Yeah. Okay, mine would be get legal. Check your weights. Have a look into weights before you go. It's not as simple as getting a 3.5 ton van and your car can tow 3.5 tons. See you later. No, check your GCM, so your combination of the lot. I know, like a 200 series, once you put 5 passengers in the car, you're pretty much over your GVM. So you got to go GVM upgrades. And even the Ram, we've had to upgrade the rear axle weight because it's got too much weight just on the rear axle as opposed to the front. So we're overweight. So we've had to do a lot of changing, a lot of checking.
Overweight. Yeah.
So yeah, have a look into that. Get a professional weigh bloke out and check it all out. He can run you all through it. But if you're not legal, then you have crash, then you are not covered in insurance.
No.
You can have hundreds of thousands of dollars out of your pocket. See you later.
Yeah.
So be careful.
And on the insurance side, that's another thing. Make sure you have really good insurance on your car and on your van, and make sure that it includes, travel to get you out of wherever you are. Because if you're in the middle of nowhere, you want to make sure that you are covered to get towed to the closest town, but also the accommodation now, because you don't have anywhere to stay now.
Yeah.
So make sure that it includes those things, because they are game changing. If you're out there and then now all of a sudden you're having to pay, $100, $200 a night for a motel room or something for weeks, months, who knows? So
if you're in the middle of the gib and your insurance will only take 2 people from where you broke down, like, what are you going to leave your kids on the side of the road?
Yeah, exactly. So that, read all the fine print. Absolutely. And ask all the questions when you actually get your insurance, because that is something that
it's a lot easier to make the phone
important
call from your lounge room at home as opposed to at 1:30 in the morning, middle of the night.
Because you can guarantee when you need it, it's not going to be a good time.
No, that's for damn sure. And
it will always happen somewhere where you're remote or at night or something. It's never going to happen in a beautiful little town where it's easy just to move. No. Never.
That's it for the questions.
Done.
We'll show you through the car and the van.
Yeah, let's go. Alrighty, so come on in. So first off, we've got our king bed. And this has been a game changer for us, because we can all chill out and have movie nights. TVs over this side, fans, but it's just like a beautiful space to be able to just all chill as a family, and then all the kids end up coming in the mornings and having a bit of a snuggle. Then down here we've got like our dining and kitchen area. So we went for an L lounge in this one, and that was mainly because we wanted to have this space just continue on and feel nice and open. This bench, we got this after market, so we upgraded this ourselves, and it's a proper timber bench, but it just really makes the space feel more natural, I feel, and Tom is obsessed with this bench. Then we've got our kitchen, so we've got bin drawer, I've got thermo and air fryer drawer. This has our induction cooker, and then all my utensils and things like that. Then I've just got 2 cupboards, just like under bench storage, and then my knives and forks, cups, bowls, and all my pots and pans and stuff down the bottom. On this side, I've got a pantry, double pantry, and our fridge. And all of our other overhead stuff is just for like spices and sauces and things like that. And then you come down here, oh, can't forget the coffee machine. We cannot live without our coffee. So that is permanently there. Tom's fixed that there, so I don't need to move it when we travel. Microwave, and this is the door we were talking about. Bit of a privacy door. But yeah, I would get a solid door here next time because I just find that Andy, she derails that all the time. So we definitely get a solid door there next time. Then you come down and you've got the triple bunks for the kids and all of their, store like a lot of school stuff and extra linen and towels and stuff like that in here. And then the kids have one drawer each down there. And if you come a little bit closer, we've got washing machine, toilet, little vanity, the sink. Now the sink I would change next time as well. So I will never go a black sink again in the bathroom because it just ends up being covered with toothpaste and it drives me mental. So I'd go a white one there next time. And then last little bit is the shower. Just standard as they are, but yeah, that's pretty much it. So it's big enough for us to live in and do everything we need. There's enough room in here for the kids to do their schooling, and also I love this amount of space in here where I can just cook and do everything I need to do, and there's enough space over here for everybody else to chill while I'm doing that. So that's it for the inside, and we'll flick over to Tom and he'll take you outside and show you through the van.
All right, now it's my turn. Show you the outside. So we'll start off with our massive box from Wolf Fab on the front. Really good just to store everything we need to with easy access. Also comes with a Weber slide already built in, which is a nice little feature. You don't have to worry about doing it all yourself. Huge tunnel boot here, goes all the way through. Won't bother showing you because it's just a tunnel boot. Then our outdoor kitchen. So when we're set up somewhere for a fairly long time, we'll get this out. Trying to spend as much time as we can outside, especially while the weather's good. One of my favourite things is our drop-down table with storage inside. So we just keep everything that we want to have outdoors, a bit of oil, some spray for the kids. Yeah, just simple, easy access. I don't have to keep going inside and outside. Love that thing. Toilet. Now this van's actually pre-wired for Starlink. So it's got a little port here where you plug it straight in. A pole goes up there and you send it up about 5 metres high into the sky. So it gets you away from the trees. And then our custom rear bar from Wolf as well. Gives you a nice big drawer in the middle, fully sealed. For everything to go in there. Big wood box, which we sometimes use for wood. Reversing camera, which is just a game changer for this. And the spoiler obviously at the top, which is mainly for looks, but you can get more solar as well up there. And this is it. This is my everything. This is my favourite thing on the whole caravan. Our full Energive system, plus the stupid amount of solar we have on the roof. So we've got 1.5 kilowatt on the roof at the moment, but we're adding one more panel to go to 1.7. We've got our huge 3000 watt inverter charger, which has just performed unreal, better than anything we've had so far. A couple of solar controllers, DC to DC, and all the other jazz, which is all mounted in behind the fridge, which has its own fan up the top. So when it gets hot, it turns on. You don't have to worry about opening this. You just leave it closed. Do what you got to do. It doesn't matter if it's cold, hot, go for it. Gas hot water system. A lot of people are going to diesel, electric, but these things have been around for as long as caravans have been around and they work perfect. So we've gone the king size bed, so that gives us an extra little tunnel storage boot in here. It only goes in a little ways, but just gives you a heap more space, easy access from the outside. You don't have to lift the bed up, anything like that. Other side of our tunnel boot. And one thing I want to mention in here is we've added an extra fridge to use as a freezer. Just because when we go off grid, like because we have so much power, we never run out. Our main thing that limits us is water and food. So having an extra freezer here just gives us that bit extra. Go to the butcher, load up. We can go for weeks and weeks and weeks. Moving on. My beast. I love this thing. So 6.7 Cummins. We've gone the 2-inch lift, 35-inch tyres, which we might be going even a bit bigger soon. We're still thinking that one through. But we've gone with a full 2.1 metre aluminium canopy. Because these American trucks, you can go a lot bigger canopy than the normal ones. So normally they're about 1.8 metres long, but it gives you a stupid amount of space as well. So 130 litre Bushman fridge, Energize Voyager system with a 300 amp BTEC in there. So if we need to charge the van with this, we can, or vice versa. Big storage drawer with a table on the end. So we keep our induction cooker up here. We've also got a 12 volt oven up there. And just a big amount of space through here. We just throw everything in. It's usually a mess, but I try and keep it as clean as I can. A couple of underbody toolboxes there. Just keep the general stuff in there. Big trundle drawer for all my tools. Boat loader is going on the roof. We just haven't put it on yet. We've only just got everything cleaned up, ready to go. So that one will be coming out very soon. Actually, I want to mention, having water on the car has been something that I've really enjoyed. I haven't had on any other rigs before, but just been able to throw that on, whether you're washing the car, washing the van. You can use the water here, save the water in the van for drinking, showering, keep yourself clean. Then on this side, we travel with our 2 English staffies. This is pretty much their area. So they've got their own beautiful thing. I've got one of my old work signs in there. I'll get rid of that, don't want any more calls for that. But they've got their own aircon, their bed, they've got water always. They sleep in here, they travel in here. They've got their own Sirocco fan, they're very spoilt. And coming into the business side, got our beautiful leather interior. It's all just been detailed, so I've dirtied it up already, of course. But no, super comfortable to drive. We've done huge stints, like 5,500 Ks in 6 days. I normally get back problems. Not an issue, it's just so cozy. It's like a big recliner chair. So very comfortable, so much room in the back for the kids. So there's a lot less fighting with our 3 kids that we find between the different cars. That's how it is. So yeah, that's our setup. Love it.